Good morning, folks. Welcome to what we hope is the final day of sealing figuring outness. Batteries are fully recharged, so ready to go and try and get this right. We'll see. So this is how they work, if you see what I mean. This one is tight against that side, actually. That is too loose, so I'll adjust that, straighten this up. One of the reasons for making these end ones as long as I could is to make sure I get these things straight, perpendicular even. And this side, you can see it needs to go out by, well, there's my finger, so it's about 1.5 mils. So that is the plan, and as you can see, I can get to the screws. Well, just about. I can get to the screws, get to most of the screws. So I'll have to undo that one before I undo it anyway. So there we go. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you them in situ before I carry on. So now's the moment. So I put the edges up, or representation of the edges, so that the outside of the channels was fully supported. And then when I put the inside middle bit in, then I thought it's a bit high and perhaps a bit tight. I'd like to be able to get it out, and oh, that's not good. Cue plenty of measuring, head scratching, etc., etc. What I decided was that I can actually cut down the middle, just a gnat's whisker, from the exactly half a sheet minus the kerf that it is currently. I also decided to put up some of the LED channels so that I kind of better understood what was needed on that front, so that I could make it easier by doing that on the floor. I'll show you one of those later. So I then worked towards getting up the next channel, which is just working off a cotton line that you can't see in this, but believe me, there's a thin black or dark cotton line that I'm working to. There's little point in showing you more of this, but here's me struggling with one. As you can see, I'm sort of I've got some pocket holes in this to line it to the next one, and trying to add some more light and things, and well, I gave up in the end. Cue the next day, and so I essentially, this is just a slow process of lining it up, using various different things. At this point, I think I'm probably just using that to hold it in place, not even to try and line it up exactly. There's a lot of sighting down the cotton line from various different points. Suffice to say that it was a relatively slow and somewhat tedious process, but I just kind of put things up and got them roughly close, got them a little bit closer, and then finally fixed them in place. So that was really about it. But when I did get to the kitchen, then I realised that actually I wanted two lights that were slightly shorter than a metre, so these are about 80 centimetres. Fortunately, I'm expecting to cut my skirting boards, which are aluminium, so I bought an appropriate blade for cutting aluminium, and obviously it makes short work of the LED strip inside it, and it doesn't shatter the plastic cover, so bonus. Anyway, so this is me putting down or preparing one of the sort of carrier strips or whatever, so it's kind of working out where the LED strips are going to go, putting in some holes to let the cables through, putting some pocket holes into the ends so that I can attach them both into the carrier strip that's next door to it, and also so that I can attach it into the bulkhead, just to keep the bit that's floating off the end level. Then comes a relatively tedious process of just putting in the little screws that hold the LED strips up, and locate them, and also so they stop them from twisting as well. So these I think there's 4 screws per LED strip. I can add more, but 4 seems like it should be enough. But it's just a question of getting them exactly right. They need to be just tight, so that it doesn't, and also if I put them in at the correct angle, then it holds the LED strip that much tighter than if I just put them in flat. So it's but it's much easier doing it on the floor, and that's why I'm doing it, so good thing. Unfortunately, my battery ran out, so I didn't record me putting up the channel that is, I guess, Saloon 1, shall we call it, or Saloon 2. Anyway, by this time then I've got better at it, so you can see that I've got some bits of wood that I just brace across, and then some wedges to put it at approximately the right angle. This enables me to put some of the wedges behind. I pre-drill the spaces that are behind so that I can put the screws in, and they're ready for me when I come to actually fixing the thing up. But it's just a question of kind of working along carefully from one end. I realised I couldn't quite hold this in place, and then remembered why, and that's because it needs to be spaced off the bulkhead by the width of the wall. Putting a clamp on the join to line it up, and so that I can put the pocket holes in the right place, and then putting these things in and bracing them across, making them as tight as I can, and so on. So it's just a process that I work through, and I'm glad that I don't have to do it again. I will have to do it again, of course, in the bathroom and the bedroom, but those will be much easier because there's just not the length, and you're not going to get the sight lines down it to make it as important. And in the bathroom there's only kind of 2 pieces, they don't have to join together to anything, and the bedroom of course will be well, I think I'm not quite sure how that'll work around the hatch, but anyway, I've got this done now. Fortunately, you'll be pleased to know that I didn't drop the cramp on my head this time. Well, I didn't last time either, but anyway, I found that actually the problem was that I was doing it at a slight angle, the cramp previously, whereas by putting it directly across, then actually it was fine. Well, I think we can count that as a success. As you can see, we've got the channels up halfway down the boat. This is obviously the long section anyway, so the bathroom is just one channel anyway, and then the bedroom is, well, it's one and a bit, I think. But these are the only ones that anybody's ever going to see, really. You just seen me put the last pocket holes screws in there. So that's about it. A couple of days, I've got to go over to the barn and stuff because there's stuff happening over there. So you won't see me for a couple of days, but I'll see you again soon when I will get the lights up and stuff.